Okay guys, we need to talk Empyrean series, book 4 theories. We spiralled with Georgia with her theories. We're going to spiral with me and the theories that I think are coming up for book 4.
Yeah, part 2, let's get it.
We're going to get straight into it. So there's one theory that I really can get behind. This theory that I'm going to start with first, I think is a possibility, but there's so many theories now. We've been waiting for so long. We've been spiraling so much because of how much of a cliffhanger it was. That I think some of them are so wild that actually I think people are just kind of going all out, thinking, how can we save Xaden?
Yeah, and this happened with Iron Flame to its Storm. The theories were insane, and then like
what people expected didn't happen.
Yeah.
So this first theory comes from, on TikTok. Feel like a grandma.
On the TikTok.
Oh my god, I can't even click it. Fandom and oh my god, I'm such a grandma. Fandom and Fiction Co. Okay, so this theory talks about the 6 missing dragon eggs, Violet and Xaden's marriage, the fact that Violet has no memories, and the fact that Xaden is gone.
Oh, okay. There's a lot of things then addressed.
So I'm not going to get into all of it because it is quite complicated. It is quite in depth. But what I'm going to talk about now is kind of what I can maybe see happening.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so and both of my theories are quite similar and include the same people.
Yeah. This
one I can see happening, but the other one, like I said, I can fully get behind. So this one, when towards the end of the book, when Violet is fighting Theophany says to her, "Do you know the pain of never being allowed to return, of knowing that it would sever the very thing that's kept me untouchable all these years?" So this theory talks about how Xaden will sometimes listen down the bond to the conversations that Violet is having. Did Xaden hear Theophany say this? You have to bear with me on this, I have to explain it all. So after Xaden channels from the earth, at the end, he's talking to Scale, and they basically say that they need to persuade Ten for the plan that they've got. They think that Violet will help because she loves me, is what Xaden says. And Scale says the decision will determine their fate.
Right.
So we then pick back up, after that conversation, we immediately pick back up where Violet's waking up from the 12 hours that she can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
What if, in those 12 hours, Xaden and Violet went to Umbriel, and the queen who is on Umbriel, was the only one on the Isles to tell them the truth about dealing in dragons? Kind of, I suppose, relating a little bit towards what you were saying, how there's the dragons, I don't know, there's a bit of a dark meaning with
there's like a dark history we don't know about.
So this theory says, don't forget the queen's terms to aid in war was 6 dragon's eggs. The 6 dragon's eggs have gone missing.
Right.
And that's 1 for each breed minus the irids. Is the thing that Theophany was talking about, severing, if she returned to the temple, her kind of magical tie to the sage, her being Venin? Because, again, this relates to my second theory, but she was stabbed by Sacred Stone from the Temple of Dun, and then she bled out. Mm-hmm. Which we know that Venin can't do that. Xaden brought Violet to the Temple of Dun in Umbriel, married her. This is obviously all speculation because we don't know this. Married her under the High Priestess, which could possibly dedicate him in a way. This would allow him to stay and sever his bond with the Venin and be cured.
Fab. Sounds positive.
It then goes on to talk about more in terms of like the 6 eggs and what that means and what's being done. But then it talks about Violet being a dreamwalker. I won't go into that because all I care about is Xaden being cured.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a lot of waffle, but can you get it?
A bit. It's a bit over my head because I do need to, full confession, go back and reread Onyx Storm because it's been a year and 4 months now, and like a lot of it was like a massive info dump on Onyx Storm. So it's like I feel like now I've sat on it and processed, the theories are coming out. I need to go and do a reread of just that book. I think I don't necessarily think I don't want to do the whole thing because I'll do the whole thing again when we know when book 4's coming out. And we'll perhaps do a little bit of that together.
We don't need to go through that trauma anymore.
No, but I do think they do say, obviously, Onyx Storm feels like a love letter when you go back and read it, and you've said that. So I do want to go and do that, and perhaps that will then make more sense when I come back and watch this. when I've got it all fresh in my mind again, because there was just a lot of plot.
Yeah. There's so much plot. And then my second theory, I'm really annoyed at myself because I saw this theory on TikTok and I read it and I really loved it and I just scrolled past it, didn't send it you, didn't like it, sorry. So whoever it was, it's actually your theory because I don't know whose it was, but it essentially relates to the fact that when Theophany was again, very similar to this one that I've just read, but Theophany was fighting Violet, she was stabbed by a shard of stone from the Temple of Dun, which had just fallen, and she bled. And obviously we know that venom shouldn't be able, when they are full venom, they shouldn't be able to bleed. Only initiates bleed because the magic in their blood corrupts their blood, so that then they essentially can't bleed when they're acid. Why did Theophany bleed when she was stabbed by a stone from the Temple of Dun? Yeah, we don't know. But my theory, and inspired by whatever I've seen on TikTok, is that it's kind of, has it cured her of the venomism because she's been stabbed, she's bled, she shouldn't be able to do that. Right. So is that going to be something to do with curing Xaden?
That makes more sense. Right, okay, I'm with you.
So does Xaden need to be stabbed by kind of a sacred stone or a sacred dagger?
Is this how Violet being blessed and all the
Yes.
temple? Right,
Because
with
she's
you.
half
Yeah,
dedicated.
ties into
Does
it.
Violet need to be fully dedicated now? Or does Xaden need to be dedicated?
Yeah.
We don't know, but I do think there's something around that.
Because they tried to dedicate her, as you say, even if it wasn't fully successful, was that half enough for her to be in a position to do it? I also did see something, I didn't look too much into it when I was looking for theories online for this, something about Violet being a goddess, linking to her dedication. That's to do with why she couldn't be dedicated, but she, like, could be accepted.
She's so closely connected to the gods. Yeah. I don't know, honestly, they're my two theories. I try not to look into theories too much because then I do just spiral.
And it can spoil it, I think. I remember when, like, I didn't go on, like, the crazy gravy train for theories between Iron Flame and Onyx Storm, and I do know a lot of people came out disappointed with Onyx Storm of the story because people had created the most wild things, and I was so glad I didn't do that. And Onyx Storm is my least favourite, but like, it's not that it's a bad book, it's just like the other two were incredible, and obviously there's so much plot. Book 3 in a 5-book series is always a filler book, and I just feel that people really like made it this big thing and then felt let down over something or nothing. Yeah, could not agree more. I am the same. Like, I feel like book 3 was my least favourite, mainly because it's just a whole book of pure trauma. It was just anxiety. Like, every page was like, is it going to kill me to read this? And I don't feel like we necessarily got any further than when we started. A lot of things happened. So much happened in More Storm, but nothing. But there was no progress in the plot. And I feel it's an info dump because we need all this information for book 4 and 5. That's why I feel like I do need to go and reread it before we go to book 4 and make like notes so that I have all the information correct, so that book 4 and 5 make sense and hit differently. I think this is gradually getting more and more and more complex as we go, and I think it's very important to be clear on Onyx Storm's information before going into book 4. Yeah, I agree. I think at the end of the day, I don't really care how books 4 and 5 goes, providing we get the happily ever after. That's providing Xaden's cured. I don't care if he's cured because of the theories that I've talked about. I don't care if he's cured because of the theories that you've talked about in your video. I just want to know that he's going to be okay. I don't care if someone literally has to be sacrificed. Like, all these people saying that, Riddick. I would happily throw him under the bus to get Xaden. I would happily throw him under the bus to get Xaden. Yeah. Back to normal. So don't come for us, but you know. Literally same. It is what it is at this point. Well, I guess we're going to have to wait and see. Will this be the last spiral video we do about Fourth Wing and Fairies? Probably Absolutely not, because it's part of our personality at this point. Yeah. But it's it for now. That is it. Obviously, if you agree with my theories, then please comment below. If you don't, also share. And we'll see you next time. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye. Bye.